Welcome to Meet the Author, where you can join in on insightful conversations with best-selling and award-winning indie published authors. Your hosts today are Rob and Joan, who themselves are indie published authors, book publicists, and paranormal investigators with Tampa Bay Spirits, based in Tampa Bay, Florida. Thanks for dropping by. And now, on with the show.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan. Welcome to the show. Whether you're watching us live or if you're listening to us on a broadcast, we're really glad that you decided to join us today. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. For those of you that have read our posts on our Facebook, you know that recently we were involved in a very large hurricane here in Florida. We were in Tennessee at the time. One of our daughters had evacuated across the state. Our son and his wife and younger son were in a business meeting slash vacation in Denver, Colorado, and they had left their autistic 20-year-old son at home because that is what he chose to do. None of us expected a Category 4 hurricane to come right over where he lived. They happened to live on a lake. They live across the street from the lake. They thought that he would be okay. Once we knew the hurricane was coming in, everyone had tried to get him out, but it was too late. The hurricane was too big. It came in differently than we had anticipated that it would come in. Everyone had assumed that his house would be the safest place for him to be. Instead, it started flooding. He ended up on the dining room table holding his kitten.
For hours.
For hours and hours. And we were on the phone with our son while he was on the phone with our grandson. And our daughter-in-law's sister and her fiance said they would go and get him. But first, let me tell you, they got him. Okay, so he's safe. Here's Aaron holding the kitten, Mittens, and next to him is Nikki. And then over next to her is Steele, our 20-year-old autistic grandson. He was on top of the dining room table holding his kitten by the time they got there. They didn't reach him until 12:30 at night because they had to go the wrong way down the road. They had to go through flooded streets. They had to avoid down electrical wires, and the last 2 miles were completely flooded. Aaron had a mudding truck that has a snorkel engine, so he was able to drive through 2 miles of flood. Nobody else could have done it. Still, it took them, like I said, they left their home at 12:30. They didn't get there till 2 a.m. They then turned around and went back home the same way, the same perilous journey, and got home at 4:45. But
anyway, true heroes, true American heroes, that's for sure. And
yes,
we're very thankful to them and indebted to them.
But because of that, we did not get home until 2 weeks ago, Monday. And then our son and his wife and other son got here on Tuesday. They're living with us because their house is not livable. Everything is gone. Most of their electronics, their walls, their baseboards, their doors, and all cabinets, all of their furniture, most of their clothes. It's gone. Yeah. So they're living here.
So it's been quite a couple of weeks here.
Yes, it
and
has.
We were traveling before that, so we've had a lot of recorded shows. Glad everybody's watched them, and if you haven't, watch them. They're great. Those are all
actually
new
I
episodes.
see one of our shows right here, but I'm going to say first hello to Joe Conjal. Hi, Rob and Joan. Welcome back.
Joe.
Thank you. We're glad to be back. We're so glad for Aaron and Nikki to do what they did for our grandson.
That's right.
George Dismukes is in the
Hi,
house.
George.
He says hello, everybody. Hi, George.
Howdy in Texas.
Rob Korn
Hi, Rob.
says, good evening. Hello, Rob. We're glad you're in the audience. And then we have Princess Amina. She says,
Princess
hello, how are
Amina.
you?
How you
If you
doing?
watched last week, she was on the show, did a wonderful show.
Had a lot
Great
of good feedback
research
on that,
on Dr. Martin Luther King, one of my personal heroes. Paul Hollis says, hi,
Hollis.
Rob and John. Hi, Paul.
The original Paul Hollis.
Yeah. Joe Conjal said, thank God everyone made it out. Amen. Everyone is safe. Yeah. Everybody was trying to figure out how to get to him. Tori Gates says, oh my God, that must have been terrifying. I'm sorry for all this. Thank you, Tori. Thank you for being in the audience. Yeah, I never prayed so much or cried so much all at one time.
Night,
it was a very long night. Caleb says, you've lived more drama than most of us ever write about. We are going to write about this because that journey was crazy. Aaron threw a life preserver into his mudding truck and said to Nikki, I don't care if I have to swim the last 2 miles. We are getting him out.
And as you know, Florida has alligators
and their
snakes,
lake has lots of alligators.
Their lake has it, and the lake was in the streets. So they were out there, you know.
Yeah. And Trish Pipkins says it was scary. Yeah, Trish was trying to figure out a way that she could get him. She couldn't. It was bad. Marjorie Daring. Hi, Marjorie. I'm a little late, but here now.
We're
glad
just
that
getting
you're
started
here.
Anyway, so you're all okay.
Oh, and Rob says, and Marcy Corn too.
And hello, Marcy.
Hi, Marcy.
Of course. So.
Okay.
Whoops.
What did I just do?
I don't know what you did there.
I just lost everything.
Hang on just a second, folks. Let's get this.
Let's go to Brand.
Out of here.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we almost lost everything, folks. That would have been exciting too, guys. You know.
Sorry.
Okay.
My
All
production.
Let's.
Oh, Joy.
Hi,
Shelton
Joy.
York says hi. Hi, we're glad to have you in the audience.
Okay, let's get a couple more things out of the way.
So that we can bring on our wonderful patient guest.
A wonderful guest who has a lot to say. So.
An important message, actually.
Just real quick, Voice of Indie podcast. After this show tonight, blogtalkradio.com with Beam Weeks and Stephen G's. Their guest tonight is Harmony Kent, author Harmony Kent. Episode Rewind this Saturday is J. Edwards Holt. That's episode 47. Yeah. That's right here where you're watching right now, but it's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. This Sunday, we have a Sunday night special going on. And we'll be live on Sunday night. Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles Revealed Part 3.
Finally, you guys.
7
tune
o'clock.
In. Sunday
same time,
night.
Same place, but it's Sunday. Okay. It'll be Book 7, Linda Purtle, Dewey Decimal Dilemma. Book 8 is Kelly Marshall, Injustice. And Book 9 is Jinx Schwartz. And I don't have the name of her book here, but we'll talk about it on Sunday. Tonight, we also, it's kind of exciting, we want to welcome a new sponsor, Texas Sisters Press, and CJ Peterson. And that's that for those things.
Just 2 more comments.
Okay.
Caleb Purtle says, people never realize they are heroes until the occasion rises, right? He
That's
said,
right.
I know that Aaron said through Christ all things are possible. And he also said the reason God gave him the truck was for that very night. And I agree. Joe Conjal said, I saw the alligators floating by the homes on the news. Amazing. Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
Yep,
some of them
really
were
happened.
doing the backstroke. But, no. Okay. So.
All right. We have a wonderful, go ahead. Sorry.
2 more little quick things. They're not little. They're just quick. I finished this. Hats off to Cindy Davis. I recommend it to everybody. The Great Peanut Butter Conspiracy is book number 3, I believe.
And I'm reading it
Magnolia
now.
Bluff. Really good and fun, entertaining. And I've also, in the meantime, I haven't got a review yet. Cindy, I've got a review coming for you. And then I've already started into You Won't Know How or When by James Callan.
Me too, but on the ebook.
Yeah, I'm on the ebook too because I didn't get the paperback delivered. So, all right. Whew. Okay, I think we got everything, don't we?
Now, before we bring our wonderful guest out, let me tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Dr. Eichin Chang-Lim. She's an amazing multi-award-winning author. Her book, Your Precious Sight, has won 2 awards. The Lovelock has won 7 awards. A Mother's Heart has won 2 awards. Flipping has won 5 awards, and Love a Tangled Knot has won 2 awards also. I should say Your Precious Sight is nonfiction. The Lovelock is fiction. A Mother's Heart, I believe, is nonfiction. And Flipping and Love a Tangled Knot is fiction. Tonight she's going to talk about her next series. And I should also say that Dr. Eichin Chang-Lim is a semi-retired optometrist. She has earned her doctorate in optometry, a Master of Science in Microbiology, a Master of Art in Psychology with a focus on developmental psychology. So this is an accomplished lady.
There you go. And headed for more. So let's bring her on in. Come on in, Eichin.
Hi, Eichin.
Thank you, John, for such a nice introduction.
Well, we had to get in all of your accomplishments there.
Oh, thank you.
We would like to be able to put up a cover of your next series, but we don't have, it hasn't reached that point in production yet where we can do that. But if you would like to start talking about a book, which one would you like to start with? Your new series or A Mother's Heart, or what would you like to talk about?
You know, how about we talk about A Mother's Heart? Because it's really, really in me. So, and then we can talk about my future book. Oh, thank you. I was ready to put this book. You already did. Yeah. So, well, so my name is Eichin. Also, it's easy, Eichin. I was born and raised in Taiwan and came to the USA to attend a graduate school in my early 20s in Texas. So if you have noticed, I have funny accent. That's the reason why. So, so let's talk about A Mother's Heart. A Mother's Heart is in the genre of memoir and self-help. In the book, I share my experience of raising my son, Theodore. When he was little, we called him Teddy. He liked to be called Ted now. He was born profoundly deaf from a genetic disorder called Waardenburg syndrome. The syndrome caused him, besides profoundly deaf, also he got a sky blue eyes for an Asian and premature gray hair.
Oh.
Yes. Well,
that's part of the syndrome?
Yes. Well, I forgot to post his pictures, but maybe I'll post it. Yeah. Later on, he was also diagnosed to have ADHD. His ADHD has nothing to do with his genetic disorder. It's just another thing challenges him.
Yeah.
When he was a baby, the doctor told us his deafness was so severe, he would never call mommy and daddy in words vocally. And Ned was heartbroken. He was our first child after 5 years of marriage. Instead of sharing all the details of raising my son from birth, diagnosis, surgeries, actually he has 5 surgeries during his growing up years. And the rehab, schooling, all these details could take too much time. I just want to condense all my experience into 5 points. First, parents, if you have a child that requires additional care or attentions, please take care of yourself. You know your child will recover from a cold or a flu in a few days. But with a child needing extra attention and so-called special needs, it's a long journey. I mean, it's so long. We go through a range of emotional turmoil. They could be disappointed, angry, worried, frustrated, self-blaming, and confused. All this can take a toll on you. And the journey can be so long, filled with ups and downs, turning and winding. It can be exhausting. It's important you take time for yourself so you can have a strength for your child. The second point that I want to make is you need a support system. Connect with a family or parents who are going through the same situation. Join a support group so you can vent. You can find tips or asking questions or share frustrations. The system is invaluable. And the third point I want to make is, besides the support system, you need to keep a verse or a line with you as a mantra to hold on to. It can serve as a lifesaver at critical points. My verse has been, all things are possible with God.
Absolutely.
It's from Mark chapter 10, verse 27. You don't have to use Bible verse. You can find a poem, an inspirational quote, or your favorite line. I remember there are nights I tossing and turning and cry out loud of frustration and don't know whether I'm making the right decision for my son. And feel like I got trapped in a dark tunnel and no way out. So exhausted and hit a rock bottom. I thought I could not cope any longer. I had to repeat this verse. It lifted me up and give me hope and strength and help me going through the difficult times. So find a verse or find a line. You can feel the strength with it. We got to the fourth point.
Okay.
Work as a team with the school teacher. Once a year, we got to attend IEP. It's the individualized educational plan. It's dreadful and stressful. And sometimes we feel the school district just not doing enough.
Yeah.
And complain. We wanted to do more for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have found out it's better to work as a team with school teachers and embrace them as a teammate in helping our kids to grow and learn. I have so much admiration and respect to special ed teachers.
Yes.
I say in the classroom many times, it's not easy. It's not easy to be a special ed teacher.
Yes.
They work so hard. I appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
So tell them you appreciate them. They will take more care of your kids. I don't mean to bribe them, but
to encourage them.
It's
They need
a human
encouragement.
thing.
Yeah.
The last things I want to say is find moments to enjoy your child, regardless of their condition. Find the joy of having them. One thing, I must refrain myself from comparing my child with other kids.
Yeah.
Even in the same age or even within the same support group.
Yes. Right.
Kids with the same condition, but every kid progress at their own path in different areas. I remember when my son was 3 years old and he struggled to say even simple words.
Yeah.
And I saw other kids, they're so articulate, they talk their heads off.
Yeah.
It's tough not to compare, not
Yeah.
to complain to God.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's just not fair. Find me.
Yeah.
Find my son. You know,
Mhm.
I had to remind myself that every child is different. And they have their unique characters and personalities. My Ted is so super stubborn, and he wants to do things according to his own agenda. And it's frustrating at times. I think it's more to do with his ADHD. And he's very opinionated, and he likes to argue, especially with me. And remember, the doctor told us he would never talk, but he turned out to be a debater. He likes to find subject to debate with me, and he is very witty. He wants to outwit his mother, and he has a good sense of humor. So when at certain point he would say something very funny, and he would declare he win because when he says something funny, he made me laugh. Believe it or not, I have fun in those moments, and I love him. You know, even we gone through so much ups and downs with him. I love him. Well, Ted is grown up now. He earned his doctorate degree in physical therapy, and he is also a certified Olympic weightlifting coach.
That's
Oh
wonderful.
my goodness, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
he
amazing.
yes, thank you. He specializes in sports physical therapy.
Yep.
He married a very sweet, intelligent girl 3 years ago. We all love her dearly. They live in Austin, Texas now. We thank God every day for the guidance and strength that He provided us through the years. And we are very proud of Ted. Oh, I don't want to forget my daughter. We also have one daughter. She's 1 year younger than Ted. They were very close during the growing up years. She's so supportive to her brother. When her brother got bullies at school, she's a tough one, trying to fight for her brother. She deserves a lot of credit. And she's a physician, she's a medical doctor now, and we are very proud of her too.
That's
Thank
wonderful.
you, Victoria.
Yeah, that's awesome. We need to take a little short break here, our
A
first
little word
commercial
from our
break,
sponsor.
and
We'll be right back.
we'll be right back.
And
Don't
we
go
have
away.
some comments, so don't go away. I'll bring your comments up next.
So, you wrote a book. What now? It's time to make the choice between self-publishing and finding a publisher. Texas Sisters Press is a family-owned publishing company. We are also authors and avid readers. We can guide you through the entire process and will make sure your work is treated with the utmost respect. Where to start? Visit TexasSistersPress.com and click on the Submissions tab. Make sure you read the entire page. You'll find out what we can do and what we won't do. If you think we're a good fit for you, it's time to contact us. Texas Sisters Press. Quality books for the family.
They thought the siren was dead. In the novel Siren Song by author George Dismukes, James Harmon shot her twice. Several people saw her dead body sinking slowly into the abyss. But now, in Siren Song 2, Evidence suggests that she may still be alive.
She killed that boatload of people. It was her! And she's just getting started!
Angie, that's impossible.
The cold chill up my spine tells me it's not impossible. We've got to start all over again. And this time, do it right.
Siren Song 2. The story continues. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Get your copy today.
We're back.
Welcome back. We have a couple of comments. Joe Gonjal said, "You're behind on your reading, Rob.
Yeah,
Have you
Joe.
been busy?"
A little bit.
And Trish Pipkin says, "I have ADHD too." Well, Trish, if you hold on a little minute, you're going to find out what the whole next series about you will relate to a lot of it. And Joe Conjal said, "God always has a plan even when we don't immediately understand it. We
Yes.
have to trust,
Yes.
like you did with your son, believing he would succeed, and he has.
Thank
And
you.
like our autistic grandson getting rescued. God had a plan.
Right.
He had the truck. He had the people to drive the truck."
Mhm.
Yes, that was good. All right, Eichin, would you like to talk about your new series that's coming out, which is also a mental health issue that she'll be writing about?
Yes, well, thank you. The book project I'm working on now is titled Your Precious Mind. It's a series of 3 books. They address the opportunities and pitfalls in adolescence. During a time a person transforms from childhood to adulthood, many things can happen. It can be exciting, confusing, and frightening for many youngsters. This series of 3 books I'm working on is a collaboration with Dr. Laura Erickson. He is an international and practicing clinical psychologist. She has a remarkable credential, and I'm very grateful to have her on board. These 3 books are nonfiction, so as you see. These books are written in a conversational style and PowerPoint format. For the target audience, it's adolescents and young adults. But Your Precious Mind is also excellent reference books for educators and parents. They can be used as a vehicle or tool for teachers or parents to open healthy conversations with their students and teenagers. Book 1 is focusing on adolescents' mental health, like anxiety, depression, eating disorders. It also talks about the potential effects of childhood trauma. How childhood trauma can affect a person's mental and physical health throughout a lifetime if no intervention. And this book lists the signs and symptoms of major mental health straightforwardly without sugarcoating. And the book 2 is talking about youth dating, sex, and relationship, and how to detect and avoid a bad romance. Bad romance. Lady Gaga. Never mind. In my head. Okay. Book 3 is about transformation from childhood to adulthood. It's from 10 years old to 24 years old, focusing on the biological, psychological, and brain development. When I was in optometry school, we learned that our brain is relatively stable after a critical period in the early years. recently because of the advance of neuroscience and brain image technology. The scientists discovered that our brain is not fully mature until around mid-20s.
Yep.
25 years old,
Right.
especially the prefrontal lobe and natural area, we make a critical decisions.
Yep.
These findings explains about the teenagers' impulsiveness and risk-taking behavior.
Yep. Yep.
In book three, we will discuss the brain development during the adolescent years in details. So,
Hold on just a minute. We have a comment. And
Okay.
actually, this is from someone, Angela Amina Hankins. This is Princess Amina. And I
Yes.
know you wanted to mention her, but she did say, I appreciated your statement about not comparing your children, not to siblings, classmates, etc. Great thought. Thanks.
Thank you.
But
Okay.
Eichin, I know, really appreciated your show, Amina. She watched it and liked much of what you had to say.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to mention
Her.
Prince Amina in a minute. Okay. You know, the idea writing these books has been in me for quite a while. I had a privilege of interacting with hundreds and thousands of youngsters throughout my IQ profession. I have seen the teens and young adult. I see them as the rising sun in the morning or the budding flowers ready to bloom. They are filled with energy and hope. They are the future of our society. Unfortunately, I have seen so many of them get off the right track. They hang around with the wrong crowd, make the wrong turn, and bad decision. And something happened to them. They got on the drugs, gangs. Once they got trapped, they have hard time to get out of addictions and or gang members. It's so heartbroken to see the youngster got killed, went to the camp, or waste their precious life and future. You know, most of them don't mess up their lives on purpose. They don't intentionally want to mess up their lives. This young generation is so different from our time. Nowadays, young people they got information from internet, social media. So I was going to say the last week's the speaker of this show, Princess Amina, she mentioned how detrimental the wrong message spreads through the internet to the young generation and to the society at this time.
It's exactly why she wrote her book, because she was talking to young people who were getting all of their information off the internet, and she did the research to find out, okay, what is the truth?
Yes.
One of these young people, Princess Amina says, hashtag truth about this generation, and thank you. Because
Thank
she
you.
did the research.
You know what? The manuscript of these three books has so much of research article at the end of reference sections.
Yes.
So the problem is the inaccurate information misguided the population, including the young people, and also the bad people, the criminals. They use the internet and social media to lure the innocent people for their benefits. There are so many traps out there to trap young people, and my heart has been burdened for these generations. So your precious mind will provide young people with correct information. Even the truth may appear raw and scratchy, but they are important because knowledge is power. So what prompted me to write these manuscripts? When I was working on the psychology master degree, some study and data disturbed me deeply. I want to share some of them with you. According to a recent report from the National Alliance of Mental Illness, half 50% of lifetime mental illness begins by age 14 and 75% by age 24. And untreated mental illness affect a person's quality of life in many aspects throughout the lifespan. And suicide is the second leading causes of death among people 10 to 34 years old. And estimated 49.5% of adolescents between 13 to 18 years old have a mental disorder. And this information is from National Institute of Mental Health in 2022. And the COVID-19 pandemic make the situation even worse.
Yeah.
And more than 2/3 of children reported have at least one traumatic event by age 16. And it have been the research after research, the childhood trauma, it's the root, it's the very possible root and strongly related to the mental illness. Your precious mind will provide young people with correct information. I know some of the information can be raw and can be uncomfortable, but they need to know about the truth because knowledge is power. So the more they know about themselves, the more they can make a right decision for themselves, not just be swayed by the media. So this is our goal, okay? Our goal is to eliminate the stigma of mental illness, to get rid of discrimination and prejudice against the mental illness. And our message, through the books, we want to get out the message to everyone to grasp. Mental illness is not something to be ashamed of. Whatever happened, it's not your fault. Do not blame on yourself. And you are not alone. And it's never too late to get help. And be kind to yourself and to others. Don't beat yourself up. And be kind to others because you never know what other people are going through. So don't judge others. Your friends, you may see them look a little bit different, but you don't know what they are going through. So be kind. Mental illness is very treatable, and early intervention is the key. You can be resilient even if you have a history of childhood trauma or mental illness. Find help. Stigma is the main barrier hindering people to get help. So, our hope and vision, it's our hope and vision that we will create some ripple effects. Someday the policy makers will make the youth mental health as a priority for the young generations. Such as, they will put a mental health as a class and incorporate into the regular curriculum from the elementary to high school. From the simple mental health, recognize your emotion, to the high school and to the drug addictions. Drug addictions is a mental illness. Even though we don't think about it, but drug addiction actually is mental illness. So school can slowly introduce this information into the curriculum and help kids to understand all these little things. And we also hope the school district will have sufficient licensed psychologists on campus. So that students feel they need help, they can feel comfortable to talk about the psychologist. Just like when they have stomach ache, they can go to see the school nurse without hesitation. So this is our hope, okay? But we know it could be a long shot because our government has so many things pulling all over the directions, but we can always have a hope. It's the National Alliance on Mental Health has calculated the untreated mental disorder cost the country, the USA alone, up to $200 to $300 billion a year because of the loss of productivity and health care. I think investment on the youth mental health is a good investment for the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to need to take our last commercial break here.
Word from our sponsors.
A word from our sponsors. And when we come back, maybe we can talk about your other writing. You've got some fiction books to talk about as well. And get your book giveaway going because Mother's Heart is going to go out, whatever. We've got a bunch of books to give away, folks.
Yeah, well done.
So hang on, don't go away, come back. We'll be right back.
At Indie Booksource, you can shop by genre or by author, and you will be buying direct from the author's main purchase link. We offer hundreds of titles in formats that include ebooks, paperback, hardbound, and audiobook. Support an indie author. Visit indiebooksource.com today.
Many secrets are hidden within the darkness of the jungle. Behold, this one about a man, a woman, a black jaguar, and an ancient Maya legend. Two Faces of the Jaguar is a novel by George Dismukes that will take you deep into the jungle and capture your imagination until the last word. Two Faces of the Jaguar is book one of a trilogy. Two Faces of the Jaguar, where only the adventurous dare to read.
Two Faces of the Jaguar, The Lost City, and The Jaguar's Quest are available on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Two Faces of the Jaguar, the book people are talking about. Get your copy today.
In a world where advancing technology is outpacing crime solving, the O'Rourke team continues their relentless pursuit of justice. Bioprints is the first book in the O'Rourke crime novel series where it's high-tech crime versus old-fashioned detective work. Visit carternovels.com or amazon.com and check out Bioprints today. And
Hi, George has a question for you. George Dismukes, is there any form of mental illness that is more difficult to treat than all the others?
I think one of the thing is depends on how long the mental illness has been with you. Theoretically, the sooner you get treated, the easier. But it's never too late. There are many ways. There are many ways of treatment. It can be the talk treatments combined with the medication. Yeah.
Tricia
Yeah.
mentioned schizophrenia is difficult.
Yes.
Which is true.
It's true. It's true. A lot of mental illness is to do with our brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I am not a licensed psychologist. I am not in a position to say anything. I'm not like my license is in optometry.
In the eyes.
Yeah, but whatever, I think it's important to get help. Don't cover it. The more you cover it, the worse. Bring it out.
Your books are really going to be about mental health issues too, not necessarily what we would think of as a mental illness, but things like anxiety and depression. And those things I think are very common. General anxiety disorder, ADD, ADHD, a lot of people, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I think many people don't even realize that they have OCD or that they have general anxiety. I was always considered a worrywart. That's what everybody said. You're a worrywart. And if you ask any of my kids, they'll tell you I worry about everything.
Really?
That's general anxiety disorder. And you can get
PTSD. That's
and yes, I was diagnosed with PTSD when I was 40, and I can remember saying to the doctor, I can't have PTSD. I've never even been in the Army. And he said, you can have post-traumatic stress disorder from any type of trauma.
Yes.
So you see little children that have PTSD. School bullying can cause mental health disorder in the other children. Trish Pipkins is saying, let's see, she has OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, anxiety, PTSD, and depression.
ADHD.
Yes.
And ADHD. I left out ADHD. And Joy Shelton York says many sources of teen anxiety come from bullying.
Absolutely.
Amen, Joy.
I hate bullying.
Is bullying caused by insecurity or some type of mental illness?
You are so right. You're so right. Actually, bullying, it's in one chapter of the book. And I am included there to teach kids. If it's not only the people being bullied can have mental problem. The person bully others actually has a mental problem too. They have those kids bully others. It's very possible they grew up in a violent environment. Okay, so it's good to find out the root of mental problem. So sometimes we say, let's go to talk, let's deal with our anxiety or depression. Actually, I have a lot of this problem too because, I grew up in Asian family, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we are very strict. My parents are very strict. My dad has a military training. My parents believe physical discipline. Physical discipline is part of our grown-up years. So we all go through a lot of struggle, ups and downs. I think part of me want to go back to study psychology. I want to understand why all these years me and brother are struggling so much with certain issues. But part of me, I feel guilty to talk about my parents. My mom just passed on not too long ago. In our culture, we're not supposed to say any bad things about our parents, you know. But they they try so hard to be good parents. They try to be a good people. They are good people, but why they cause us so much pain? To have so much struggle, not only in us, but if affect our relationship with our children. My brother ended up divorced because well, it's a long story. What I'm trying to say is, we all, I don't mean we all, I mean a lot of us has issues.
Yes.
It stemmed from long time ago. Our goal is to break the transgenerational virtuous cycle. We need to start, we need to understand. I want to teach kids to know there is a cycle there. Let's break it.
I think that we need to, like you had said before, that we need to lose the stigma and the shame of mental health issues, because most of us do have some type of mental health issue, if we're going to be honest. Not mental illness, a mental health issue, all right, which is different. And and I know that Trish Pipkins, like she said, she has, we'll put it up again, she has OCD, anxiety, ADHD, PTSD, and depression. And so she has to have therapy with the therapist, and then she also takes medication from a psychiatrist. And some people don't need medication, they need the therapy, but some people need both. And if we can say that I have high blood pressure and I take medication, right? Yeah. And also my doctor says to do yoga and to meditate, okay? And that will help the high blood pressure. That's the same thing. And one is expressing itself in a physical way, and the other is in a mental way. But we should not be ashamed of having any of these things any more than we are ashamed of having high blood pressure. It's but our society has taught us that it's shameful and that it's a stigma and that you shouldn't talk about it. But it's better.
There people has a mental struggle. That's crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's just a part of our brain functioning. We just, it's tough. It's tough that's what I'm saying. Let's change the mindset from the youth group. Okay. The book we are writing now, me and Dr. Erickson writing now, the words can be a little bit advanced for the teenager. But we are hoping through the teachers or parents encourage, will go through them. It's a writing directly to them, but the wordings might be a little bit too much for them. But with guidance, they should be able to grasp it. Right. I think all these need to be taught when a child is still young. Okay, so the goal is the whole society. They study on the young generations so they can grow up as a healthy society. They can grow up as a thriving adults. And so the whole society can be healthy. They are the future of our society.
I understand what you're saying. You're
want
saying
to-
like we teach good nutrition. We teach people you should eat well. We teach people you should exercise well. There are things that you should do to have a healthy body. And you're saying we need to teach people what you need to do to have a healthy mental attitude and a
Yeah.
healthy mind.
Correct. Yes.
Sandy Will says,
Hey,
hi,
Sandy.
Eichin. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Those of you that are on Twitter must know Eichin because she tweets and
She's there.
retweets a lot.
So why don't we tell people
Okay,
how to reach and do the book giveaway too.
All right, we need to do the book giveaway. Let's do that first, all right?
Yeah, let's get that out.
So first of all, here is Eichin's email. It's Eichin, okay, let's see. Yes, it is. It's Eichin Chang-Lim at gmail.com. I'm going to spell that for you. It's EICHINCHANGLIM at gmail.com. And here, I'll put the ticker on.
She is anxious to get these books out into people's hands, so Eichin is giving away 5 ebook copies of each of her 5 published books.
That's fiction and
Fiction
nonfiction.
or nonfiction.
Yes,
So
and they're all award winners.
you want to grab, go ahead and let her know what you want.
Yeah.
So go ahead and get that.
5 ebooks of each of her 5 published books. She's giving
That's a lot
away
of books.
25 books. So,
Yeah, so there's, even if you're watching this or listening to this a week or 2 or weeks down the road, go ahead and send that email, okay? And get in touch with Eichin.
all right.
On
Yes.
the subject title, please write down, I want free book.
Okay,
So-
please
Yeah.
write
so
I want
I-
a free book in the subject title so she'll know
Right,
what
so
you're
right.
emailing her about.
If you see one that just says podcast, you'll know, right?
Yeah.
We have 2 more comments. Let me see. Sandy says yes from Twitter and Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes. And Joy Shelton York says, thank you for opening your heart to us, Eichin.
No kidding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for all the people here today,
Yeah.
taking your precious time here. Thank you. I know time is valuable for you too, so thanks.
Princess Amina says, yes, thank you. And you did too, Princess Amina. Oh, she says, you are a gem.
Thank
Angela
you.
Amina says, you are a gem. Yes, and she really cares. But so do you. Oh, Angela Amina Hankins says, Robin Joan too. Thanks. Thank you.
So let's see where we can reach her.
Yes. Trish Pipkin says, thank you. Yeah, I happen to know that Trish is a real advocate for mental health issues and wants the stigma to be gone, and that we should be able to have open discussions and talk about all this without any embarrassment and get the help that we need. And I want to say that if you find a therapist and it isn't helping, look for a different therapist.
Yeah.
It's not one size fits all. You're
No.
going to,
Correct.
for personality types and the way that people communicate, you need to find the person that you can speak with.
Correct. And different therapists have their special
Absolutely.
niche. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Right,
they
right.
do. Joe Conjal says, I think that's spot on. If people were taught how to manage mental health in the same way as managing our body health, it would take that stigma away. That's
Exactly
exactly what I was saying,
Yes,
Joe.
yes.
Teach children from the beginning, like we're teaching them to exercise. I mean, it was a presidential thing that you had to exercise, and that the same way, this is what you need to do to have good mental health. And also some kids need a safe space because they're not in a good place at home, and they need a safe space. They need some place where they can talk,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So
here we go.
the website.
Okay. I just
Yeah, put the book giveaway back up.
I will.
Okay, there's a book
I
giveaway.
put on the wrong thing. Sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
Her website is www.eichinchanglim.com. And Joan already spelled that for you. And Twitter is Eichin Chang-Lim. And on Facebook, you can find her author, Eichin Chang-Lim. She's made this very easy for everybody to find her.
Eichin Chang-Lim.
There you go. And Instagram.
Except Facebook is author Eichin Chang-Lim.
Right. And Instagram is Eichin Chang-Lim as well.
Okay.
So you can find her at all those places. You can reach her. And
I'll put the email back up because that's where you have to go to get the free books.
Right.
Whew.
So let's talk about some of the other books here real quick.
All right.
Before we do run out of time. We already talked about A Mother's Heart. And
that's what it's like to be the mom of a special needs.
I'm going to take that down.
And I have to agree with all of that because, as you know, we have a 20-year-old autistic grandson.
Right. And your other nonfiction is Your Precious Sight. And
this is because she's an
sure,
optometrist.
You're an optometrist, and you've got the book right there. And then we get into your fiction, and we're showing Flipping, which is one that's been out for a while and
won lots of awards.
Won lots of awards, yeah. That's
5
awards. Reader's Favorite, Ian.
Book of the Year.
New Apple
Summary Book. Award of Literary Excellence.
And a Bragg
Medallion winner.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then you also have Love, A Tangled Knot. If love is true, how long should you wait? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then The Lovelock.
That's won 7 awards.
That has 7 awards attached to that. It's a romantic suspense novel. And do you want to say anything about any of those titles?
Okay. This book?
Yes, Your Precious Sight.
The message for this book is it's important to have your annual eye exam or regular eye exam. This book is studied from kids, small kids, up to the geriatric generation. A lot of diseases, it's very easy to treat if you detect at an early stage, especially like a glaucoma. Glaucoma is called the silent eye killer or something like that. Because if you have glaucoma, your pressure, I'm talking about chronic open angle glaucoma, your pressure will slowly builds up. You don't know about it until the end stage when the visual field shrink and optic nerve head is pretty much damaged. It's hard to reverse. But if you pick up glaucoma in the early stage, it's very easy to treat. So the message is, please have a regular eye exam to pick up anything at an early stage.
Yes.
Yes.
Go see your eye doctor.
Yes.
We see ours and see the same one all the time because then they know who you are. Yeah.
And you know what? Eyes is part of body. Anything affects your system, it will affect your eyes. You know, we can detect diabetes.
Yes.
High blood pressure.
Yeah.
Even patients don't know about it.
Yeah.
I cannot recall how many times I pick up diabetes just from the back of the eyes, from fundus. You know, the bleeding is there, and patients still don't know about it. So the earlier detect those problems, the easier to treat.
And so the only way to detect it really is by having a regular exam.
Every year.
Every year, right?
Yes. Yes. And then when you check eye exam, it's not only for glasses or contact lenses, it's for the health of your eyes. When your
Yeah.
doctor say, let's have a dilation, a lot of people hated it because your pupil will be enlarged. You will have a difficult to see for several hours. People
Yes.
run away. But dilation is like open the door to see
Yeah.
every corner of your eye, of the room. So we can see, we can have a good detailed look. If we don't dilate the eyes, we see through a people like a see through a keyhole.
And they
So
don't have to, by the way, if you haven't been seeing your eye doctor every year, you may not know, but they don't have to float those little weights on your eyes
No.
anymore for
Thank
glaucoma.
goodness.
So
yeah,
that's an
and
easy
actually
check.
nowadays our office have a retina camera.
Yeah.
We have a good look without dilation. So if
That's
you are afraid of dilation, it's okay. They now the new technology is very advanced.
it's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so we can see into the eyeball, the back of the eyes. Yeah, you know,
It's amazing.
our eyes for all. You know what made me decided to write again? Because I have seen so many patients and from all over the world. You know, LA has so many different races or nationalities. So
Mhm.
we probably see all kinds, and I love them. And when I look into their eyes, you know, I always thank them for giving me the privilege to look into the window of the soul.
Mm.
You know, when we're looking into the eyes, this is what I see. You know what? Regardless your race, your background, our general anatomy of the eyes are the same. The optic nerve head, the macular area, the blood vessels, our our eyes anatomy pretty much the same. But it's also very unique. No one has the exact same retina photo. I'm sure you have seen the movie that use the eyeball to
Yeah.
as the how you say the password. So you look into the eyeball. What's the movie? It's I think it's a Tom Hanks movie, right? You use the eyeball and look inside, and then to see use them as ID. So what I'm trying to say is our eyes, regardless background, are same. God made our eyes, the anatomy are the same, but everyone is unique. So
That's incredible.
yeah, and it made me think. It made me feel like every soul is precious. Every soul is unique, and it got me. It inspired me to write books. You know.
Trish Pipkin says the movie is Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was John Ham, but I'm not very.
Don't know movies real well. No, it's okay.
So, which on your three fiction books, which was your first one? Flipping?
You know,
Flipping
you see, the Love a Tangle Knot. Actually, original title is Tough Scratches. Uh, this actually part of my patient's. He shared his story with me. The story was the they met and pregnant in high school. She got pregnant in high school, and in order to get a ring, he messed up. He someone told him to bring a box to another person, and without knowing it, but the guy offered the bad person offered this guy $5,000 to bring this box to another party, and got caught by the undercover police. In the box was a gun, and this marked gun and drugs. So the main character went to jail, and they have a kids. He really wanted to buy a ring for her so they can get married, but it was so messed up. And they got married in jail, and they waited for 7 years. When he get out, she waited for him when he get out. He could not adapt to the real world. And during he was in jail, she went through a nursing school, become a nurse. And I missed one point. She actually married him in jail. So he was so committed. But when he get out, he wanted to quit because he feel like he is dragging her life. Now she has a career, and he is a high school. He only have high school and have a criminal record. So he want to go. He want to left, and that's the rest of the story.
Yeah, you don't want to tell the whole story.
Have something to read, right?
And that's right.
No, that's not the rest of the story. The end is for you to find out.
Right,
there you
exactly.
Go. Right.
Yeah, you don't want to give it all away.
Yeah.
I think it's about time.
I think, yeah, I think so. Well, gosh, this has been great, and we thank you for coming on with us tonight.
Thank the audience for being here.
Great audience participation, and
yes, remember, we love all your comments. Like, comment, share. Here's another comment.
Okay, hang on just a second. Let's gonna move you over to this side. Thanks again, and stay with us and hang in there backstage.
Thanks, Rob and Joanna, for including me. I really appreciate it.
You're most welcome.
More than welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
Paul Hollis says, thanks, Eichin. Another insightful show. Thanks, Joan, and Rob. Joe Conjal says, very interesting show tonight. Thank you, Eichin. And of course, Rob and Joan. Sandy Will. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob and Joan. Thank you.
Take care, Eichin.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was a very insightful show about a very important topic.
Very much so.
And then we learned about the importance of eyes, too. Yeah, that was good.
So want to make sure everybody knows to be here Sunday, 7 o'clock for the Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles Reveal Part 3. 7 o'clock right here where you're watching
Sunday
right now.
Night. It's going to be an extra show, a special, because that was right after the hurricane. We had just gotten back into town. Right. Our son and his family had just moved in with us, so we didn't get to do that.
And then next Wednesday, Rob and Marcy Korn are going to join us. So.
Princess Amina sent the email.
Will there be popcorn?
Will there be popcorn?
At your house,
if you
probably.
Make it, Joe. It's going to be a really fun show. I mean, finally, this is the last installment of
this
Magnolia Bluff.
Magnolia Bluff.
Yeah, we got next year's.
It's a great series. If you haven't started reading it, there's no time like the present.
Yeah.
And until next time.
That's all, folks.
Thank you.
Live every Wednesday, your Voice of Indie hosts Beam Weeks and Stephen Gies welcome authors, musicians, publishing industry pros, artists, and assorted creative guests for an exciting interactive hour. Call in during the show or post questions and comments on Twitter for responses in real time. Meet your favorite indie creators, learn inside tips, network, and promote your work. The link for each week's show is pinned on Twitter atop @VoiceOfIndie, and you can receive the link every Wednesday morning in your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter at freshinkgroup.com. Check out Voice of Indie every Wednesday on Blog Talk Radio and catch hundreds of episodes archived everywhere from our websites to our YouTube channel and Spotify.
Thank you for joining us here on Meet the Author. Make sure you stay up to date with our show by clicking like, follow, and share. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and more. See you next time on WLFE-DB.com.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.